Welcome back to the deep dive. We are ripping through a massive stack of source material today, all about the tech landscape in late 2025.
And it is a landscape of, well, contradictions. You've got these incredible research breakthroughs on one side.
And on the other, just total regulatory confusion and this, deep economic anxiety.
It's whiplash season, no question.
Right.
We're watching the AI revolution move from that early hype phase into the hard, messy reality of actually integrating it.
Right. And we have to reckon with the market's, frankly, extreme reaction to AI and the very real quantified impact it's having on jobs and wages.
So that's our mission today.
Exactly. We want to cut through the noise. We're focusing on two main areas. First, the massive measurable cost and the regulatory fight around AI adoption.
And that includes a terrifying new number on job replacement.
It does. And second, we're going deep into the quiet stuff, the infrastructure breakthroughs and the research wars that are shaping AI's future beyond just making models bigger.
And we are starting with something you probably has in your hand right now, a major power shift. We're about to see Samsung's 14-year reign in smartphones come to an end.
And from there, we'll jump right to that number from MIT everyone's calling the Iceberg Index.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with this consumer tech shift, though. 14 years is a huge run for Samsung.
A massive run. They've been the world's largest smartphone maker for ages. But yeah, 2025 looks like the year Apple finally overtakes them.
What are the numbers telling us?
Well, the consensus data, especially from Counterpoint Research, it's pretty clear. They're projecting Apple will ship around 243 million iPhones.
Okay.
And Samsung is expected to be just behind at 235 million.
So it's an 8 million unit gap. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it's enough.
It's just enough. It gives Apple 19.4% of the market share versus Samsung's 18.7%.
Yeah.
Like you said, ending a 14-year streak. That signals something bigger is happening.
So what is it? Is the iPhone 17 just that good, or is there more to it?
It's strategy, really, combined with perfect market timing.
The timing be...
The great upgrade cycle. Think about it. Millions of people bought phones during the pandemic era. Those devices are all getting old now.
Right, so there's all this pent-up demand.
Exactly. And Apple is just perfectly positioned to capture it. But the strategy part is what could lock this in for the long term.
Because Apple's famous for only playing in that premium high-end sandbox.
Traditionally, yes, but they're changing the game. The rumors are strong about lower-cost E models and, of course, the long-awaited foldable iPhone.
Ah, so they're expanding their reach. They're not just staying at the top anymore.
No, they're attacking multiple price points, segments that Samsung used to pretty much own by itself.
So there's a full court press.
It is.
Yeah.
And analysts think this multi-tier approach could keep Apple at #1 through at least 2029. You dominate the high end, then use that brand to pull in the next tier of buyers.
And once you get people into that iOS ecosystem, it's hard to leave.
It's very sticky.
Yeah.
This is a battle for long-term platform loyalty, not just a good quarter.
Okay, so let's zoom out from our pockets to the entire financial market. 3 years after ChatGPT launched, it's just completely gripped by AI fever.
And the poster child for that is Nvidia. Their stock is up 979% since ChatGPT launched.
979%. That kind of growth has, it's fundamentally distorted the entire market.
It really has. Here's the figure that just defines the mania for me. The 7 most valuable companies on the S&P 500.
And we know the names: Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple, Alphabet, Amazon, Meta, Broadcom.
Right. Those 7 now account for a whopping 35% of the entire S&P 500's weighting.
35%. And it's up from, around 20% just 3 years ago?
Exactly. That kind of concentration is almost unheard of. It just screams vulnerability.
This is the brief on the premium content available from AI Now. Hey, so if you're enjoying what you hear on our daily show, right? Well, this premium stuff, it's basically your fast track. We're talking about taking all that AI knowledge and actually using it, like right away, moving you from just knowing things to really doing things with AI. Okay, so first up, the big thing is efficiency. You know how fast AI moves? It's crazy. Staying updated is tough. So what we do is cut through all that noise. We distill the really important trends, the tools, the strategies, give them to you straight, all actionable insights. It keeps you ahead without wasting any time. Second, what do you actually get? Well, for just $4.99 a month, less than a fancy coffee, you unlock a bunch of exclusive series you won't hear on The Daily Show. There's weekly deep dives with AI Now Educate, practical stuff on tools and business strats with AI Now Commercial, and even deeper analysis and frameworks in AI Now Conceptual. It's the whole package. And finally, we made it super easy and low risk to jump in. Seriously, it's totally beginner friendly. Alex and Jessica, you know them, they break down even the tricky stuff. Plus, you can give it a whirl for 30 days, grab those strategies, and if it's not for you, cancel anytime, no problem. Easy peasy. Bottom line, AI Now Premium gives you that complete, up-to-date knowledge and the practical strategies you need to really get a handle on this fast-changing AI world.
Yeah, if the AI sector sneezes, the whole economy catches a cold.
It becomes a macroeconomic event. And what's so fascinating is that the people leading the revolution, they're openly saying this is a bubble.
They are. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman was incredibly blunt. He said, someone is going to lose a phenomenal amount of money in AI.
And it's not just him. Brett Taylor, the board chair at OpenAI, he agreed. He said, we are in a bubble, and compared it directly to the dot-com boom.
But he added a critical piece of nuance to that comparison, right?
Like he did. He said, look, just like the internet, there's going to be a painful market correction. But after that, AI will still fundamentally transform the economy and create huge amounts of real value.
So the bubble will pop, but the technology is real.
That's the argument.
So if Altman's right, and someone's going to lose a phenomenal amount of money, who's he talking about? Is it the big hyperscalers spending billions on chips?
It's probably less them and more the thousands of venture-backed startups. The Googles and Microsofts are building the picks and shovels. They can absorb losses.
But the startups built on speculative promises.
Those are the real casualties, the ones with billion-dollar valuations for an AI tool that's, only marginally better than something that already exists and is way cheaper. The market mania just pulled in so much investment for things that don't have a sustainable business model.
And that mania, that risk, it brings us right to the risk AI poses to human capital. This is where the numbers start to feel a lot less abstract.
Yeah. MIT just put a number on it. They call it the Iceberg Index.
Because it's what's lurking just beneath the surface.
Exactly. And the figure is shocking. 11.7% of the entire U.S. labor market is now economically replaceable by existing AI.
Wait, say that again? Not future AI, but AI that exists right now.
Right now. And when you translate that to dollars, you're talking about roughly $1.2 trillion in annual wages.
That's staggering.
Yeah.
What's the holdup?
Well, that's what's so interesting. They contrast the Iceberg Index, the 11.7% potential, with what they call the Surface Index.
Which is the work that's actually been automated.
Right, and that's only 2.2%.
So the technology's capability is almost 6 times ahead of where the economy actually is. Why? Why the lag?
It's mostly economic and structural. For a lot of companies, the cost of the AI infrastructure, the retraining, the legal risks, it still outweighs just paying a person.
But that barrier is eroding. Fast.
It is. The price of compute is always dropping, so that 11.7% cliff, it's waiting.
Which jobs are closest to the edge?
It's the ones heavy on repeatable cognitive tasks. Think certain kinds of financial analysis, a lot of administrative work, healthcare admin, paralegal work.
Jobs that are about synthesizing information and following complex but consistent rules.
You got it. And this tension, this quantifiable precarity, is really defining the conversation now.
We're seeing it in the cultural analysis, for sure. The writer Charlie Warzel called this the world ChatGPT built and said it's defined by precarity.
It is. Young people don't see a predictable career path, and older workers are being told their skills might be irrelevant next year.
Which leads directly to the huge political fight. Who gets to govern all this? And right now, it's a battle between the states and the federal government.
And the states are moving way faster. In 2025 alone, 38 states passed over 100 AI-related laws.
Targeting things like deepfakes, bias, transparency in hiring.
All the immediate threats. But the tech industry hates this. They call it a patchwork of regulations.
Right. And they're pushing back hard. With PACs like Leading the Future, which raised over $100 million, their argument is pretty simple. This patchwork will slow us down in the race against China.
So their solution is something called preemption.
Meaning a single national standard that would block or preempt all those state laws.
They want one rule book or none at all. And this idea is gaining some serious traction in Washington.
Alarmingly so, based on the methods being talked about. We saw reports they're considering tucking this language into the NDAA.
The National Defense Authorization Act.
A must-pass defense spending bill. It's a backdoor way to get it through.
It's a clear signal of urgency. They're trying to bypass the normal, slower legislative process.
We also saw that leaked White House executive order draft that supported preemption and even creating an AI litigation task force.
Basically, a team of lawyers to go after the states in court.
But the pushback is fierce. We have, what, almost 40 state attorneys general opposing this?
Yeah, they're arguing that states are the laboratories of democracies. They're the only ones agile enough to respond to these new threats in real time.
And their point is, if you block the states while a massive federal bill, like Representative Liu's 200-page mega bill, is stuck in Congress for years,
You leave consumers completely exposed. During the most volatile period of AI adoption, the states say if these companies are serious about safety, they should welcome local oversight, especially since they already follow much tougher rules in the EU.
So the fight isn't if AI gets regulated, but who holds the reins.
Exactly. Who's in control?
That fight over control is a perfect transition to our next segment, because the real revolution, the place with measurable ROI, is happening invisibly in the plumbing.
Right. Everyone focuses on the flashy, loud, customer-facing tools, the chatbots.
But the real value is in what they're calling background AI.
It's the stuff that works silently on back-end operations. Compliance, internal audits, risk flagging, things humans just can't see at that scale.
We have that great example from the global logistics company.
Oh, it's perfect. They used background AI to monitor procurement contracts. The AI scanned invoices, delivery records, emails, everything.
And it found a pattern.
A deeply hidden one. One specific vendor's delivery times were always off by a single day, but only near the end of a fiscal quarter.
Humans would never spot that. They just write it off as logistics.
Of course. But the AI saw the pattern across years of data and flagged it as intentional inventory padding. The vendor was trying to juice their quarterly numbers.
And that one insight saved the company millions in a renegotiated contract.
That's the invisible ROI. And this is a huge but, this stuff doesn't run itself.
It needs human supervision. Experts with advanced business intelligence backgrounds.
Absolutely. You need a human to understand the AI's logic, to spot bias in the training data, and to provide that ethical oversight. The AI handles the scale, the human provides the wisdom.
Okay, that need for structure brings us to the actual plumbing, the Model Context Protocol, or MCP. Explain this like I'm not a systems architect.
Okay, think of it as TCP/IP, but for AI agents.
The basic language of the internet.
Exactly. Just like TCP/IP gives computers a standard way to talk to each other, MCP gives AI agents a standard, secure way to interact and share context. It's the key to taking them from pilots to production.
And adoption is happening fast. Microsoft already built it into Windows 11.
Native support. And for enterprise, the latest update is huge. It adds a tasks feature for long-running workflows. An agent can work on a problem for days without losing context.
And what about the security part, this URL mode elicitation?
That's the killer feature for anyone in finance or compliance. For a payment, the system can bounce the user to a secure browser to enter their password.
So the AI agent itself never actually sees the credentials.
Never. It only gets back a secure token. That's non-negotiable for regulated industries.
So we're moving from the plumbing to the philosophy. There's this growing idea that the age of scaling, just building bigger and bigger models, is ending.
Ilya Sutskever, OpenAI's co-founder, is the biggest proponent of this. He says 2020 to 2025 was defined by throwing massive compute at the problem.
Brute force.
Right. He argues future progress will come from research breakthroughs and smarter architectures, not just more chips. He's forecasting 5 to 20 years until we hit ASI, or artificial superintelligence.
And we're already seeing proof that scale isn't the only answer, right, in open source.
For sure. Look at DeepSeek Math V2. It's an open-source mixture of experts model. It just got a gold medal performance at the IMO.
The International Mathematical Olympiad. It solved 5 out of 6 problems.
How?
The breakthrough is its generator verifier system. One AI generates a mathematical proof. A second, separate AI acts as a critic, and it assigns a confidence score to every single step in the reasoning.
So it's forcing the AI to debug its own logic. It's teaching it a form of self-criticism.
Precisely. It can't just give a plausible sounding but wrong answer anymore. It's a huge step. And it suggests the future isn't one giant model, but a team of coordinated specialists.
Which is exactly what Nvidia found with their ToolOrchestra system. It's the same idea. They trained a tiny orchestrator model whose only job is to intelligently call other, smaller, specialized tools when it needs them.
And the results were stunning.
Blew people away. This small orchestrated system outperformed giants like GPT-5 and Claude Opus 4.1 on a really tough exam. And the kicker, it was 2.5 times more computationally efficient.
So you don't need $1 billion to train the next giant model. You just need the ingenuity to train the smartest coordinator.
The savings are massive. The model acts like a manager. It doesn't try to know everything itself. It just calls the expert when it needs one, whether that's a code interpreter or a math solver.
So you combine that efficiency, the standardization from things like MCP, and the quiet application of background AI. The productivity gains must be huge.
Anthropic put a number on it. They estimate widespread adoption could boost annual U.S. labor productivity growth by 1.8%.
That would effectively double the current rate.
It would. Their research found Claude cut task completion time by about 80%, on average, across a whole range of cognitive tasks.
So let's put it all together. What's the synthesis from this whole deep dive? We're seeing AI become standardized, integrated, quieter.
Driving real, tangible utility in the background. But at the exact same moment, its potential power, whether it's crushing the IMO or replacing $1.2 trillion in wages, is becoming frighteningly clear.
And that's triggering these massive regulatory battles over who gets to be in control.
That tension creates this final question around sovereignty. Look at SAP's new EU AI Cloud Initiative. They're integrating models from Cohere, Mistral, even OpenAI.
But they're giving customers, including sensitive government clients, extreme choice in how it's deployed.
Exactly. You can run it in SAP's European data centers, or you can have them install the entire thing on-premise at your location. It's a direct response to this global demand for data residency.
Which leaves us with a final provocative thought for you to think about. As these AI models become commodities, more powerful, more efficient, thanks to things like orchestration.
Is the ultimate lever of power shifting? Is it moving away from who builds the smartest model?
And toward who controls where the data lives and who hosts the infrastructure.
Because when sovereignty becomes the ultimate security feature, the plumbing, the geography, and the political rules of where you operate matter more than anything else.
That's all the time we have for this deep dive. We hope you feel a little more informed and maybe, just maybe, a little more aware of that $1.2 trillion iceberg just below the surface. Okay, let's unpack this a bit. If you've liked what you've heard from us so far, getting these insights. Well, we found this really interesting source this week.
Yeah, a memo, wasn't it? Called The Fast Track to AI Mastery.
Exactly. And what really jumped out at me was how they framed the problem.
Yeah.
It's the sheer speed. They literally say AI is evolving at lightning speed.
Right. And their whole pitch, really, is offering this structured way to keep up, to actually leverage it, not just read about it.
So it's not just about random articles or blog posts, which, let's be honest, can be overwhelming.
Definitely. They're arguing for something more deliberate, a system. It seems like this premium content they describe is built around that idea.
Yeah. And if you feel what you've learned so far is beneficial, this sounds like the next step. They talk about this premium access. What is it, like $4.99 a month?
Something like that, yeah. Less than a coffee, basically. And it unlocks 4 specific content streams.
Okay, so what are they?
Well, you've got your weekly and monthly summaries, just keeping you current. Then there's specific educational stuff. They call it AI Now Educate.
Right, for the deeper understanding.
Exactly. Then updates on the latest commercial tools and strategies, really practical stuff. And finally, the heavier part, these conceptual deep dives and frameworks.
That last one sounds potentially a bit much, especially if you're, say, a beginner or just moderately into AI.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But that's where their guarantee comes in, apparently. The source memo is pretty clear on this.
How so?
They promise it's all absolutely beginner-friendly. They take complex ideas like the difference between fine-tuning and using a RAG system, right?
Okay, yeah.
And they break it down. They use analogies, real-world examples. The goal isn't just knowing the term. It's understanding why it matters, how you could, actually use it.
So it's application-focused. Less textbook, more toolkit.
Precisely. It shifts the focus from just knowing about AI to actually building strategies you can apply. The source really emphasizes that gaining stuff you can use at work or, just in your life generally.
It sounds like a curated path then, avoiding the information overload we were talking about.
That seems to be the core value proposition, yeah. For that small monthly fee, you get this distilled high-impact knowledge, structured learning.
So for you, the listener, it means getting past the jargon, getting actionable insights, and basically staying ahead without drowning in information. And they mention you can try for 30 days, cancel anytime. Risk-free, essentially.
Right. It makes you think, doesn't it? In a field moving this fast, maybe relying only on scattered free stuff isn't enough anymore to really get ahead.
That's a really interesting point.
Maybe this kind of focused, structured learning isn't just helpful, maybe it's becoming essential. The source definitely leans that way. It argues the value of organization really outweighs that minimal cost.